10 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
Welcome back, guys. We're here with our final semi-final for the ESL 1 in New York North American qualifiers. I'm Dirk in the JD Studios, and we've got a pretty good matchup here. Digital Chaos against FireDota, and the winner of this best of 3 will find themselves in that grand final against Complexity Live. Let's find out what they've got in store for us with that Bounty Hunter first up. Digital Chaos, they've got a pretty nice start up to their draft. But, Scant, my co-caster, is here and telling me that audio sounds a little bit wonky. Does it sound okay now?
I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I'm really struggling to hear you. It sounds like you're very, very far away from your microphone or something.
I can hear you perfectly fine. But that's very, very interesting. Hopefully the stream can hear me okay. I can hear you fine. Well, the draft anyway has kicked off. We'll try and... It always happens to me. It always happens to me.
I can hear that you're speaking, but I honestly can't hear what you're saying at all.
It will try and restart this, but draft so far... I've not picked anything up. There's Lina plus Earthshaker, there's... Anti-Mage is the first pick, obviously, is what you're going to go for. Is it any better now?
No, not really. I don't know if this is an issue with our call or if it's an issue with your inputs, but I hear quite a loud buzz coming from your microphone and then like very soft, far away speaking.
Nothing has changed since my call with Moppax earlier. Oh goodness. Goodness.
I guess we can see if we can try and figure out if it's an issue between you and me or if it's going through on the stream as well. And then we can work out what the issue is. Yeah, hopefully in like a minute's time the stream will be, screaming and shouting, saying, "We can't hear you, we don't know what's going on." But anyway, the draft Bounty Hunter first pick for Digital Chaos, Fire reply with AM plus Rubik. No Earthshaker. Obviously, Tusk is banned out. Okay, I've got game sound. That's fine. But yeah, the Lina taken up by DC. No Earthshaker just yet. It can be picked up in a short while. Ban's out now. Okay, they're not complaining about my audio. It must be Skype. Right, it looks like I'm alone for a little while until Skype sorts itself out. Oh god, I've had such a bad day with technology and studios and stuff like that. I'll try recalling a couple of times in a minute, and hopefully things themselves sorted out. But yeah, I had an issue with the Studio 3, and we had to basically set everything up in like 5 minutes and rebuild the studio from scratch. It's very good. I'm fine. So it's just my co-caster cannot hear me, right? So that means there's an issue. Yeah, we're both fine on stream. Huh. Very strange. I'll try calling one more time, but never know. Never know what's going to happen with this.
5 seconds.
Right. I honestly don't know. You can't hear me now, I guess?
Reserve time.
No, it's still the same. I wonder if there's like an extra input that the audio is going through on Skype, which is not the right one. Is there maybe like an extra webcam or microphone or something plugged in which
now
is just decided to use?
Can you hear me at all now?
I went and opened the stream and yeah, that's not what you sound like on Skype to me. It must be really weird for the people watching because to them we both sound perfect.
Bizarre. How absolutely bizarre. Oh, it had to happen to me. Well, I don't think this is gonna get itself fixed. Guessing that doesn't do it either. See, I see. Yes, I don't know. I don't know. Spellbreaker is banned out with the Storm Spirit by DC. The Broodmother is actually taken out by Fire. They don't want to be dealing with that. Anti-Mage obviously notoriously bad against the Broodmother. That was like a TI2 pick, the Brood against AM. That matchup, much always happening.
10 seconds.
Always takes me back to Sexy Bambo playing that Broodmother in the offlane against AM plus a couple of supports. Spamming out Spawned Spirelings before that AM gets his Ring of Health. Incredibly difficult to deal with. Interesting. Bloodseeker ban out there, I guess. For the track gold, you can ramp up that Bloodseeker pretty quickly. A bunch of track gold. Also very good against the Anti-Mage, got that Blood right. And the Rupture. Anti-Mage does not want to be blinking away.
Templar Assassin.
That Rupture up on him. Okay.
Dire team pick.
I'm gonna be alone for now. Very interesting, very interesting. Third pick up from Fire, no Tusk, no Enabler, no one to jump him into the fight, so I wonder if this is gonna be the 4-roll techies and have the Rubik in the 5, or we have something like an offlane techies. You know, in pubs we've seen mid techies, offlane techies is pretty much slotted into any role he possibly can.
10 seconds remaining of pain.
With the Queen of Pain picked up, that puts her towards the middle lane, Anti-Mage over to the safe lane with the Rubik. And this little techie is obviously very good against the Bounty Hunter. It limits his movement a lot, especially early on in the game. Not just the fact that, you know, he's going to run over mines and die, but with the landmines down, you get that vision, you get the knowledge. You know where Bounty is. If he walks over one landmine, okay. You know, it does a decent amount of damage, takes him down to 2/3 of his health. But then you know where he's coming from. You know if he's trying to snipe a courier, trying to actually go towards the mid and harass people out.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Digital Chaos. They responded to that techies with the TA. They've got the Lina TA. Lina could be in that support role. Push it down towards the 4. And Bounty Hunter, or 5 roll even. Bounty Hunter. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
safely Lina then. Does that work now?
Yeah, it's working now. It's working now. I don't understand Skype why that happens. And I'm very sorry to all the people watching who are like terribly distressed by the fact that we're talking about imaginary problems as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, like shut up, idiots. Just talk about the game because they can hear us perfectly fine. Like they can hear us perfectly fine on the stream. It's just that you can't hear me, which is super weird.
Just don't know how that could have fixed anything. But anyway, I haven't really heard most of what you've been saying. I guess you spoke a bit about the techies, right? Yeah,
techies good against the Bounty Hunter. You get vision of him. TA was picked after the techies. Refraction obviously gets you over the landmines. Queen of Pain in response to that. So Lina safe lane, TA mid, Bounty roaming, Winter Wyvern as your 5 support. So I'm assuming looking for an offlaner for DC here, which is by Fire ban out the Clockwork. But I don't know where the techies is going.
Hopefully DC don't pick Tinker, right? Remember we cast a game of Tinker vs Techies that went a bit too long for anyone's liking?
150 minutes or something like that. But yeah, the Techies is going to be in the 4 role here. Do you go aggro with this? You know the Bounty Hunter's roaming, right? So you know that there is a weak link in the chain there. You know that Digital Chaos are going to be running dual lanes or relatively weak lanes and really banking on the strength of their solo core heroes. You have Techies, Rubik, Telekinesis into Mines, Slardar to Crush. You can farm relatively freely. I'm just a little bit worried about Wyvern plus Lina. They've got long cooldown on Arctic Burn, and Lina, okay, she can harass people out with her long-range attacks and Dragon Slave. But if the pressure is like incessant...
Fire's draft is just strange no matter which way I look at it, unless it's an offlane Slardar, or... I mean, because you don't really want to leave your anti-mage all alone. Solo, especially when they didn't know what it would be up against yet. So I'm not too sure. Either way, they're doing something pretty novel here. You know that Ice played offlane starter like some kind of like a gazillion times and got really high MMR apparently that way.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times in pubs. I can't remember who I got queued up into. It was... I can't remember. Might have been...
And his thing was that he kept going Tranquil Soaring, which is, you know, you don't think of Slaughter as one of those Tranquil Soaring heroes, but he did that in the offlane and just provided insane utility, ganking all over the map as the game progressed, so... It's a thing we might get to see.
How things pan out. We get the instant TP out from the Winter Wyvern though. Oh no, from the techies even. Whitebeard. 5 clarities, tangos. What's he going to be up to? Because the Beastmaster pick here with the boar, he's just going to be running that boar over into the mines. Yeah, Whitebeard has adjusted here, realizing that this is like a natural place to send your boar over to. And that isn't really where you're going to be sending, you know, you send the boar through there and you should be able to sort of walk straight past the mine without clipping onto it. It's going to be actually difficult for the Bulba Beastmaster to scout these out. And yeah, Whitebeard, he's baited a little bit, moved far over to the east. The spam pings come out from Bounty saying, hey look.
25 seconds left. It could find the mine anyway.
It's only one mine as well. This has stopped the techies from stacking up 3 mines. He is going to get a nice little hook there for free.
You know, it makes me think now we've got Reborn. This seems like the concept for some kind of mini game. Run a little boar around and try find mines. Some kind of like Dota 2 minesweeper. See
how many you can get. Well, how are the lanes actually? It looks like DC going pretty stock standard. Beastmaster off lane for Bulba, Owie. AUI, the roaming bounty hunter in that 4th spot. Viryu playing the Winter Wyvern and TC, safe lane Lina. Yawa on the TA, looking towards middle lane. Moo is off lane Slardar here. They will be running defensive dual lane at the very least with Jo and Fluff on your anti-mage and Rubik. 747, you quad mid. Whitebeard, of course, the techie's running around, trying to cause as much havoc as he can. And he's basically just playing he is the anti-bounty hunter, right? He just places mines around. If you don't kill the bounty with, 3 or 4 mines, at least you got the intel that a little bugger is running around trying to actually snipe your courier or harass out your mid lane.
I have been watching just the boar, and Bulba must be very, very confused because he actually ran it around the trees once or twice where that mine is, but just not at the close enough angle to the trees. So, Bulba saw the techies there at the start, and he must think there's mine somewhere, but...
Boy. Oh, he got it there. Oh, he got it. But that was only 2 mines, wasn't it? I guess the 473 HP Bounty Hunter doesn't stand a chance against a couple of mines. Down a bot lane, the harass is real though, landmines are placed. But AUI already losing a life.
And not an aggressive tri lane, but it's some kind of aggressive lane, and it's working out, as unorthodox as it may seem.
What the hell was that techies just did? Did some kind of weird little jump.
Yeah, I thought I wasn't going to say anything because I thought like maybe I'm just getting some graphics bug, or he's trying to run in and just go for the cheap suicide play there by the looks of it. Get standout. There was like some kind of like purple dust that
I have no idea. Like I flicked my camera to it and I caught like the tail end of it and I just saw like sort of purple smoke, but it's weird. Bulba up at top. They've got AUI here as well to try and slow down this anti-mage a tiny bit. AUI with the sentries trying to find the mines, and it looks like they did actually manage to destroy the one over by the secret shop. These lanes are working out so far for Fire. They've got the Radiant on lockdown. And this TA from Yawa, it's Radiant side. You don't have the easy access to these Ancients like you do on the die. You can't just like walk across, stack Ancients, then get Rune. You've got to walk up, get Rune, go back to lane. It's not that sort of smooth, cyclical movement. You can on the die, and obviously the Roche advantage. You can't just walk yourself into the Roche pit. You get that Desolator.
AUI has like some personal history, like some relevant context when it comes to techies, because he was the one whose techies got banned out all the time at the International. He's also the one who before that petitioned to remove techies from the game. Then recently he said that he hasn't even shown half of his techies tricks, and then a few days ago they played a series against Cloud9 where he was techies and they lost. Didn't really get much done.
That was stun down. Moo has actually rotated in here at level 2. 747, you're going to dive for this. There's no refraction, but he's still lifted up into the air on Owie. Find the kill on the Bounty Hunter, but TA surviving through it all. He's got Bottle and Salve. He returned to the lane pretty quickly. They went for the Quap, got the Bounty. Still another nice little kill there.
Yeah, Owie just runs in, like, hoping to see what's happening at the rear end of the fight, but there's a sentry set up, and he actually didn't need to run in at the end. The TA was fine. But at least he knows there's a sentry now, and he'll definitely counter it.
Down. Oh, techies! Oh, yeah, there we go. Suicide onto the Winter Wyvern. 0-3. I really like in Reborn. Yeah, this is going to transition. I really like in Reborn the fact that they don't have the denies or suicides or anything count as kills for the enemy team. But you mentioned that AUI didn't show all of his techies tricks, and I'm wondering, in Reborn, a lot of the lanes have actually changed quite a bit. Like middle lane, it's opened up a fair bit for the Dire side especially. It's pretty much the same on Radiant. But bot lane, the lane has changed a fair bit as well. I'm just wondering the way that the lanes meet. I know that Gorgon, a guy who does a lot of articles and does a lot of sort of stats and looking into the metrics of things, he knows that, or he was measuring out the lanes and where the creep waves meet. And there's quite a bit of disparity between the old client and Reborn. And it does affect techies play, because the way that the pathing of the creeps goes, you know, maybe you have this 6 spot. I know that over on the top lane, if you're Radiant techie, if you're Dire techies, there's a spot like in this area, east of the top opening to the secret shop, that you can actually place, because the creeps sort of do this weird movement across. Oh god. Slardar. Get caught out.
Yeah, TC just lands the stun straight up and Slardar on low HP. Maybe a bit overextended, but I agree with you. I mean, you had me at Reborn, techies plus yeah, there's new mining spots. It's a big thing. If you've learned the traditional mining spots, you need to maybe learn some new nuances to that. To be honest, I'm half surprised there isn't some like ridiculous techies bug. I mean, there's so many bugs in Reborn. Why not have a techies one? It seems like the kind of thing that would attract bugs.
Oh, but still got this pull across. Great things about this Beastmaster offlane. You can pull this, you can stack it with a boar, control your lane equilibrium, and Jo missing out on a bunch of creeps now. Not really a way to get back in here. AUI's lurking a little bit as well, leeching experience from this pull across. Bluff, very wary of the bounty hunter and where he can move to.
Yeah, it's I don't know, do we count AUI as being successful so far? Probably not, honestly. I mean, bounty hunters don't actually have to get that much done early on. But it's not just that he hasn't got that much done yet. Look, I guess he's got some early levels. So
he's stunned up for the suicide. They'll find the Lina. Moo does tank up a ton of damage there out, but he's got the full creep wave coming in. A bunch of gold he can start collecting. Yeah, he's gone for the Tranquils build. So the Slardar with Tranquils and, what did you say, Soul Ring afterwards? That,
yeah.
Ice went for. Interesting.
The story was that Ice got, I think, 7k MMR playing just Slardar and Huskar in the offlane. And I think on both of them he went Soul Ring Tranquils, although I don't see Huskar going Soul Ring Tranquils. But then again, I didn't see Slardar going Soul Ring Tranquils before I heard about that, so... Like,
Tranquils Huskar we've seen a ton. Forev made it kind of, well, I don't know if he made it popular, but he was the one player that I really saw a lot playing the Tranquils Huskar, and recently we've seen Complexity. Ziz actually picks up the Tranquils on Huskar as well, and goes for a pretty, I don't want to say unusual build, but an interesting build, where he goes like Medallion, Sange, and then into Satanic. He doesn't finish off Halberd or the Solar Crest. Tank himself up that little bit more. That's Whitebeard on the techies. One thing he's done very well with is getting his levels. He's level 5, 6 minutes in. Bulba top, Telekinesis. Jo with the damage out, the Mana Void not going to finish him. One more hit there, the Fate Bolt secures. It's a 5.
And Anti-Mage is trending so much at the moment. It feels like every team's carry player is going to be begging their draft to like, pick me Anti-Mage, pick me Anti-Mage. Jo in this case has been drafting himself, so not really an issue, but it's almost like the players are asking for us to compare their anti-mages and say, you know, this guy's the best anti-mage. So far, I gotta say, Ritsu from Cloud9 and also Miracle from Monkey Freedom Fighters, those two have really, really impressed me. Like, honestly, more than even the traditional, like, Black or Burning anti-mage. They've been phenomenal recently, so I need to be careful not to be too critical of Jo, just because I'm comparing him to these standard of, like, ridiculous anti-mage performances that I've seen in the last week.
Yeah, I mean, Mason's been very good as well. Well, I've seen him play, I think, 4 games now, and he's played at a very, very high level on heroes like Safe Lane Storm and Safe Lane Anti-Mage. Maybe the rest of the team has obviously geared up to be this sort of 4 Protect 1, but I know that Ritsu still does get pressured a fair bit and finds the farm, regardless of how many times he gets ganked. Now, down a bot, they are actually gearing up here. AUI back himself away. But you take a look at JO's build, actually. Ring of Regen, Ring of Health. Yeah, a little bit of extra regen there. Obviously, building into the Vlad's a little bit later on for their anti-mage. But this is something that quite often we see against the Dogs here, in that lane. But here, I guess, against double boars and those wild axes being thrown out, you need that bit of regen. He's also tacking up the wave a ton. These pulls across are incredibly annoying to handle.
Yeah, so wanting that little bit extra regen. Bot lane is going to be action, and TC might be in trouble here.
Got the light strike. TC's got Laguna Blade. He might throw it. He will before the Sonic Wave. To clear up a couple of kills here, though, as Techies finds himself a killing spree. Queen of Pain, if she had managed to get that Sonic Wave out before the Laguna Blade, got themselves 2 kills for the price of nothing.
I'm gonna tell you that it's not the first time recently that I've seen a Queen of Pain dying while starting the cast animation for ulti. It's not something I'd noticed a lot in the past, but it feels like the cast animation is actually reasonably slow. And yeah, it just seems to keep coming up in games this week that Queen of Pain is jumping in on their last breath, trying to get their ulti off, but died trying to cast it. And I wonder, just imagine it had a faster cast, how many situations Queen of Pains would be coming out on top of.
I remember a couple of these situations. I was casting with you the other day, and it comes to mind that these situations always come out when the Quap blinks or runs into the middle of the fight and then tries to Sonic Wave. Usually when you blink and then try to Sonic Wave, whereas a lot of very, very high level Queen of Pain players will hide in fog, Sonic Wave, and as... oh my goodness. This Techies are just causing havoc everywhere. He dies, but he gets a kill. Winter Wyvern, ran over the mines over here somewhere? Yeah, a lot of very, very high-level Queen of Pain players will hide in fog, Sonic Wave, and just before or as that damage hits, blink forward and scream. So you get the double hit from those nukes, and it's uncounterable. You can't ult, you can't blink, you can't run, you can't hide. Get nuked down into oblivion. Whereas 747 there, I'm not saying he's not a high-level player, but really underestimating the damage of the Lina. Running in, thinking, okay, it's a secured kill. We've got amplified damage, we've got stuns, we've got the nukes. We can finish her off before she can do anything.
And he's going top now. He's TP'd to this top lane, so they definitely intend to kill Bulba here. Bulba's got very low mana. Oh no, actually, he's just come up here to bomb the stack, I guess. That makes a lot more sense. But I hear what you're saying, and I think I agree. It's something that Queen of Pains in general need to focus on, and the better Queen of Pains do, you have to actually be extremely careful using Blink offensively. Most of the time, if you use Blink offensively, it's to finish off a kill. I think it should be.
Yeah.
If you don't want to just blink into a fight and then kind of see what happens, because you're actually an insanely squishy hero when your blink's on cooldown.
Yeah, if you know that you've killed 2 heroes and you can chase someone down and finish them off, there's no TP reaction coming out, then sure, blink aggressively. But if you're blinking into the middle of 2 heroes who still have all of their stuns and all of their nukes, it's always going to be a difficult prospect out of there alive. Now bot lane, Whitebeard died again, and his brilliant start, he is a level 7 techies at this point. So he's got the remote mines, he's got the level 4 in the land mines, he is still an annoying little devil. And Moo on this, Slardar has a Staff of Wizardry, so I'm guessing...
It's part of the ISSS build, it's a 4 staff, yeah.
Okay, 4.
I mean, he skipped the Soul Ring, but the 4 staff is part of the build. It's... I don't know if... I assume ISSS must have started it, because that's like a whole story about how he got to 7k just doing that.
Yeah.
And I guess other people have been trying it out now.
Interesting smoke down at this bottom lane. Bulba feels the need to use his roar. The help of the Winter Wyvern, they've got that curse. Who are they looking for? Moo on this Slardar is up on the high ground. He's going to get perfect vision of him. Do get a little bit too close. I'm still not entirely sold he'll escape. Oh, they're waiting out for the rune. Moo sees them, but the curse long enough range, and with the LSA Laguna Blade combo, down goes the Slardar. That's a lot of commitment, though. They didn't use the roar, okay, but Winter's Curse and Laguna Blade, relatively long cooldowns.
What we need to remember is that Slardar we're used to treating as a 1-position hero. It's an offlane in this game, so a big commitment to killing him might look intuitively better than it actually is. I think you're probably right that it's not that valuable to get that kill with that amount of commitments.
Dire's structures are fortified.
It's still a kill, but yeah, you brought heroes from different parts of the map. You used a lot of important spells. Lina's ultis doesn't have a huge cooldown. And I actually, to be fair, the fact that Beastmaster's not top is actually a pro for them, because it means that Ari's able to get his level 6 on Bounty Hunter. So maybe it's just fine. Maybe that kill's just a kill perfectly good.
Yayo still up at this top lane. Treads Perseverance and about 1400 away from that Battle Fury. It's 13 minutes in, so it's not going to be that exceptionally fast one. But still pretty damn good.
There are lots of mines at the bottom of the map.
Oh yeah,
and
tons.
He's TP'd and he's got 2 sentries, but okay, he's used one of them. So he has 1 more sentry. If he moves up in this lane, he needs to place it soon enough to actually see the first set of mines, or he's in big trouble.
Bulba's looking towards the middle lane and maybe wanted the roar onto that Queen of Pain. 758 HP when she is on those int treads. Could have been a juicy little kill for this TA. Going for the Desolator Rush, no big surprise there, but clear out these Ancients as she goes. EY scattered out Jo. Have they got the damage here? Oh, with TC they do, but you'll set to start things off with the Light Strike Array. Jo, no time to blink. Even throwing out the roar for good measure.
That's a dead anti-mage who is farming extremely well though, and right on time to get a good start to his Battle Fury, cleaving out the jungle. And honestly, recently I have seen a number of anti-mages pretty much do the whole job once they get onto their farming role, just like do most of the heavy lifting, the sense of carrying their team to victory. So it's worrying, and it's important that they kill him, and I think they need to kill him more times, like a couple more times in the next few minutes actually, if they really want to take control of the game.
Yeah, because if you look at that, he didn't lose out on anything, except for the time where he's not farming, right? Because he bought his Claymore, he's still 1100 gold away from that Battle Fury. He misses out on like 40 seconds of farming where he loses his top tier 1, but it's pushed back to his tier 2. So Jo does have a little bit of room to maneuver. With Roar on cooldown, Laguna Blade on cooldown, coming up soon. Soon is not enough, as you got 4 heroes from the Dire actually pressuring down on this bottom lane. Vireo did manage to escape. He walked past the mines, got himself the Octoburn flying over the trees. This tier 1 at bot looks like it's pretty much forfeit, so the Radiant, they go for the trade-off. Looking for the tier 1 up at top. And TA pushing towards mid.
Yeah, she's picked up her Desolator, so she should be able to finish that tower easily if she wants to. A bit nervous about which enemy heroes will be nearby though. I know her teammates are all over the rest of the map, mostly pushing top tower. Vireo doesn't actually survive on the second round in that bot lane.
Kill and a tower down bot, a tower mid, and a tower top. Radiant definitely getting the better trade-off there. Doesn't show it on the fight recap because, you know, power gold, who cares about that? Well, these supports do. AUI is up to level 7, so the tracks start to come into play. They've got Necro 1 up on that Beastmaster, which has been buffed significantly. This TC, Lolina has Yule Scepter and 1200 gold, so the Aghanims can start, or the Bloodstone, depending on which way you want to go. But against an AM, I kind of guess the pure damage is going to be good here for you.
Yeah, definitely. Aghanim Scepter extremely valuable against anti-mage. And one of the big things as well also about that long push that took the tier 2 top in the end, the anti-mage was just choked out of his farming space for a while. He didn't have anywhere else to go either to get that farm because his team was already pushing the bot lane. Mid lane wasn't safe for him. So it's actually delaying his Battle Fury quite a lot.
Oh yeah, he was hiding up at the trees for a long old time.
When he died early on, he had the most last hits in the game by about I think 20, and now he's actually about almost 20 behind the tier. That's how stalled he got with the dead time and then the time unable to farm, hiding in the trees.
DA has that Desolator done. Moo is just crushing down creep waves. Whitebeard, I feel like you need at least a remote mine over in the Roche pit. Maybe you stack up a couple as well, just to make sure that Yawa can't get in there and get that free Roshan if, you know, he smokes up and moves on into the pit. He's focusing very heavily on the Radiant jungle, watching out for the push down onto tier 1. Tier 1's pretty important if they do want to defend Roshan. So they're trying to buy themselves a little more time for the AM. Jo should have his Battle Fury in the next minute or so, actually. Up to 1,000 gold. 200 more and he's got it. TC doesn't want this to happen. The level 2 Laguna Blade, he's trying to find his kill, but he needs a little more assistance here.
It's strange what difference it made. They killed Anti-Mage once and then just forced him out of his safe space for a few minutes. Because his timing was looking so good earlier, now it's looking like it's okay. It's okay because he's already got the treads and the poor man shield. Battle Fury timing around 18 minutes. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not something you know write home about. It's not incredible at all.
Yeah, like the 15-minute Battle Fury he was on track to get would have been pretty damn good. Now, Yawa, he's still got the refraction charges up, just walking over these remote mines, no idea And the situation he's getting himself into. 747. Looks like he blinked away from a bit of damage there. Not sure. But this Rubik has traps around. Stolen the traps from the TA, so the vision that he's getting here with the Lina moving around, roaming, the Winter Wyvern possibly looking for a curse as well. Pretty great intel. So, like, look at this down at bottom lane. Digital Chaos, they want to push into the tier 1, but they find it so difficult. There's remote stacked up in multiple layers, and now they jump forward onto Moo. They find the quick and easy kill, but maybe they lose here. Okay, that's a bug. I thought the remote mine's model stayed a lot longer. I thought they only popped one. Whitebeard is roared, and now the mouth strike. Yowar.
The final remote
well, jumps forward. The Bloodblade splashes back onto Fluff. Try and dive any further though. Retreat out. It should be okay.
And the final remote's kill Neon.
How many are there? There's like 2 there?
No.
Doesn't look like it.
That's too bad because it's rare that you get an opportunity to detonate so many remote mines without them being detected, and you actually just can't kill anyone anyway.
Oh, Yawar jumps in. Half HP now. 747. Blink available right here, right now, but Yawar just battling it up. J.O. there we have it. Remotes and the Mana Void. They try and turn to fight this one. But the Force, perfect placement. Bulba's trapped here. The Cold Embrace keeps him alive, but it only extends an inevitable death. Ah, AUI good. Shuriken bounces back to 747, but does he give up his life? No, it doesn't look like he does. No chase pattern there from Fire. And
surprising. I want to say Slardar can easily chase and make that kill, and the fact that he's not chasing just says that he's scared of further rotations, getting into deeper trouble, because he had 4-staff and sprint coming up soon.
TC's found him. Techie suicides faster. There was no mana for Laguna Blade there from TC either, so not sure if he could find the kill.
But yeah, so first run for me actually casting a game where there is an offlane Slardar. I don't know about you. And I feel like so far so good, to be honest. It's kind of impressive. He is providing a lot of utility. Amplified damage, very useful, kind of like the track, gives you that vision. It's not going to give you extra gold if you kill someone, but it does help you to kill them, that's for sure. 4-staff, also a lot of utility, just constant stuns. It's a short cooldown on the Slytherin Crash, and the sprints, I mean, because it lasts so long, essentially also a short cooldown. So it's a hero that can provide a lot of utility, and if the game does go long and he finds himself coming into a lot of money, he can just be that extra kind of scaling core. I definitely don't think it's picked for that or designed for that, but it could become that if it needs to be.
Feels like something you can only really pick up. The opponents have not necessarily a greedy lineup, but if they're running dual lanes, or if they're having a roaming support like the Bounty or a Techies or something like that, because if you have 2 supports zoning out this Slardar, he doesn't have a way of clearing stacks. He doesn't really get up in the face of supports and trade hits like Clockwork does. He doesn't have any mechanisms to actually get himself back in the game either. So he kind of has to leech experience and get levels until he hits level 6, something like that. Get tranquils and not die. I think the key thing is here, you just do not die as this Slardar.
Yeah. It's strange. I mean, when I first heard that ISIS had just spammed the hero in the offlane, it confused me, because I also thought, it must be lane dependent. It must be, if you're against a really good zoning support, what exactly do you do? But the more I look at it, the more I just think, well, he's got the sprint. He can, he can be cheeky with being in XP range, run away if he has to. Even a stomp, his early base stats aren't too bad. And honestly, I won't be that shocked if this is a hero that filters into mainstream offlanes in the maybe medium-term future.
Yeah, I guess you look at the amplified damage, you mentioned the vision you get from it. He's got a relatively low cooldown stun, 8 seconds. Chasing capability with sprint, the innate bash that you can building up into with some attack speed, get the team fights going. Compare him to something like a Beastmaster. A lot more level and farm reliant. He needs a Necro Book, needs a Blink Dagger, Boots of Travel. You definitely need a fair amount of farm over in the Beastmaster, whereas you can get away with a lot more as this Slardar.
And Slardar's also going to really help you take Rush. Speaking of which, it's actually the enemy team currently taking Rush, because they've got a Desolator, which does a similar thing to what this Slardar could do with the amplified damage. Just lets you take that early Rush with the armor reduction.
They have no idea, do they? And this is one of the reasons why I thought that one landmine, one remote mine in this Roche pin would completely nullify this advantage that they get.
There's actually a sentry ward up here on the cliff. So I don't know, maybe there was a mine and they counted it, but if there was a mine, they would have found it beforehand. But I agree with you, if there was never a mine, that's something that should have been addressed. And surely if there was a mine and it got counted, they would have had a hint that they're rushing, so probably it wasn't even attempted.
Going on. Now Fluff on the Rubik, he's stolen Splinter Blast, that's such a great ability to have up here. Throw it out onto creep waves, and just the fact that while you've got it, your farming rate is drastically increased. You just push out these waves and make sure that there's no aggressive potential behind your tier 2s. You look at the TA and you think, well, Aegis is up, you know what she wants to do? She wants to dive your tier 2s and kill your Rubik, your techies, even your Queen of Pain over and over again. Yawa, is he going BKB? Look like it, Ogre Club. Built up for him. You've even got a Glimmer Cape. And quickly built up by that Winter Wyvern. Right now it feels like the onus is on fire. They had a great laning stage, they were what, 5-0 up? The Queen of Pain with the Orchid hasn't found any kills, so that really hasn't paid off too much. Now building back into the Aghanim Scepter to get the team fight power. Jumps forward, find a kill here. Wyvern should pop to that Soul Burn, but TC's TP'd in. You'll stun, blink away. That timing just wasn't there. Meanwhile back towards mid. Yawa's been found, telekinesis throws him back, and now what's stolen? Traps. Slow him down, Jo. Amplified damage is up, and can they kill him twice? Blink out should be there for Yawa. Unless something really funky happens. But it doesn't. Oh god, 747's blinked in, the roar! Yawa says thank you for the kill! And now they turn to fight even more, the Mana Void doesn't pick up Bulba. I'm not sure the Shadow Strike will either. Oh yeah, that was a little bit awkward to miss up a hill from the TA, but they'll get the deny. And Bulba doesn't give too much away.
We talked about that, right? Queen of Pains blinking in. It's you know, it doesn't matter that you're one of the 4 most farmed heroes in the game. You are very, very squishy when you use your blink aggressively. Unless your team's already winning the fight, the enemy team's already retreating. Blinking right into the middle of a bunch of enemies is more often than not, I want to say, it's a recipe for disaster for Queen of Pain. Unless you're literally just gonna burst them down right then as you land.
Have you seen the techies and what he's actually picked up? I know Sage's Mask is a pretty cost-efficient item for a techies who's got good int gain, he's got good starting intelligence. But is he going to build into an Orchid, or do you think this is just Sage's Masks for the sake of them?
I honestly, I couldn't say. I don't know.
He could go like a Yules and a Medallion, but I don't see the value in a Solar Crest really too much. Maybe you can throw it onto the AM, or maybe even the TA. I guess Solar Crest could work, but it's just not the natural item for techies to go. You're more of this elusive, annoying little hero that sneaks around placing mines everywhere.
I think it's just value Sage's Masks more likely than not. Same way, a Scylla Bear will get a Spirit Bear a bunch of Gloves of Haste. Not something you see on a lot of heroes, but on a hero where all you need is mana regen, why not just buy small, cheap, cost-efficient mana regen items?
Yeah, I guess so. Start looking towards, 4-staff Aghanim Scepter, something along those lines. Ardar, he's actually picked up a Blink Dagger, level 11 for him as well. He's done incredibly well for himself. How are we looking overall? Well, I did have, the good laning stage, like we said, the first 12, 13 minutes. Self a good 2,000 net worth lead, but that has very quickly spiraled back, with Roshan being taken pretty much every outer tower bar 1, going down as well. And mine's mid, getting popped. Lina up at top, found the Queen of Pain, TC. Counted out by the techies' mines. I was watching this middle lane because I know the jump's going to come, whether it be from the Dire or the Radiant. Looping round and back. No, Jo. He wants to fight and farm down at bottom lane. They're just going to give up the tier 2.
Yeah, what's worrying about this game is usually when we see these games where the one team is the anti-mage, even if they're behind, it feels like there's a point at which the game becomes about the anti-mage. And this game doesn't feel like that at all to me. I don't feel like we could say the game's about the anti-mage yet. It seems like somehow secondary to what the game's about.
Oh, Yawa, 2 hits here, no fluff. Get the stun. The TA doesn't get that insta-hit kill onto Fluff. He is hit pretty hard with the minus armor, down to negative 15, or negative 12 anyway, from the 3 he starts off with. Keeps on stealing the invis. He'd love to have a track here. Now turn the fight around. Oh, AUI, blinking arcanes. Now buying himself a gem to try and deward as much as he can, but also the techies' mines. They can demine. what the Techies have spent the past 7 or 8 minutes building up on top lane. This is the weirdest thing. I've seen Techies, you know, AUI at TI5 is like a prime example. Start off in the lane the first 4 or 5 minutes, and then you get a solo lane to yourself, and you basically split push. You make an impasse where enemies can't gank you without, you know, giving up a kill or dealing with the mines as you TP out. And Bulba, he feels the power there as the remotes get blown up in his face. This Techie's going around placing remotes, it feels like to clear out creep waves. He's trying. And really, he's succeeding at delaying the push coming out here.
Yeah, he is. Look, he's taking some space of the map by farming those waves. And because they also have a slaughter that gets some creeps from the offlane, the Queen Painter gets quite a lot. It might be why I feel like the game didn't become about the anti-mage just yet. At the same time, it's keeping them in the game, it is giving them value. I think he's really, the way I've started to think about this hero, whenever Mirana comes back into the metagame after being out of it for a long time, it has such potency because people aren't used to playing against Moonlight Shadow. And I feel like Techies is a bit like that if people pick lots of Techies and it gets saturated in the metagame, it'll actually lose some of its impact because you're used to playing against the Techies, you're used to having to deal with constantly, we need True Sight, there could be mines. The same way you think about a Mirana with the Potter Multi. So, I'm not too sure. Maybe this is the first time we've really seen a competitive metagame that had Techies in it for a while. But I do feel like the impact of a Techies might change over time depending on how common it is in the metagame.
What's going to make you change your playstyle as well? Jo jumps forward, Bulba obliterated. It's a good little pick off there, but the tracks turn things back around a little bit. Fluff goes invis, but a lot of damage coming his way. TC's here, the melt strikes land. They do trade it off lane for support, but the Dire get to reset. They get to go back down to bot lane mid, farm away, while the Radiant really have to converge up on this top lane, and there's mines stopping their push. Now that they've grouped up, they have to push this lane, right? They have to go and find value by getting the lane back towards the tier 3, then farming the enemy jungle. But how do you do this when there are remote mines everywhere? And I guess the answer is with AUI's gem plus a boar. You clear out the remotes one by one.
I wonder, do you think... I feel like there's some sense in Bulba actually just sharing unit control with AUI, giving him like a hawk or a boar or both, and just walk around with the gem invisible with the boar running and the hawk scouting ahead and the boar coming to clean up whenever you find them.
Hey, definitely. Even the necro units, I know you don't want to pop them just for demining, but if you have a little team fight, a little skirmish, you want to go and you know, give a cheeky go with fire, then right afterwards use those necro units to go and scout out the mines as well. Just walk them straight through.
I think if DC get the next rush, we might see them actually go for a high ground push. Having the level 3 necro and the gem, they run over some mines on that going up the high ground here, and they smoke, and that's going to give away that they are smoking, but they still catch up, Brian.
Brought up. Well, takedown. Once again, not really the hero they wanted, but they still found a pick off there. Now, objectively, what do they gain from this? Where can they actually go? They found a kill on Rubik. He's alive in 40 seconds time. They can push middle lane. Dire are getting more value. Like every single one of these little fights where the Radiant are forced. You know, their hand is forced. Anti-Mage is getting space. He's up to 2,400 gold. He's leading net worth now. He's caught up and overpassed the TA.
The game is slowly but surely becoming about the anti-mage, but I think there's a window here. I think there's a window for the next 5 minutes or so. Ideally, the Radiant side want to get rush. If they can get rush and then just force the high ground, and because they have a gem and Necros, not worry about techies that much. And I don't know if Fire will be just ready to defend the high ground then. Fire kind of want to just keep split pushing, making it anti-mage Dota. If they get to have that game for the next 10-15 minutes, they're in a really good place.
You know, they've done exactly what you said. AUI has controlled this Hawk, and I've been watching the movement. It's exactly the same as his hero movement, just walking back and forth. So he spotted out the two little remote mine stacks here, and the ball comes in. Cool. Slowly but surely.
Yeah, it's like the pest control. Ghostbusters just walk around with a little team of... Well, the board takes long to... Oh, I guess there's just stacks of mines there.
Yeah, there's tons. And, okay, Techies hasn't been fully negated. Still finding farm, he's still being an annoying little devil. But he isn't finding kills, he's not slowing things down anymore. Now, DC can find themselves with a lot more freedom. actually move up on the map and get up onto the tier 3s. They've got one tier 2 remaining down at bot lane, and I really feel that that's where they should start looking towards, just because of that Roche pit. Just because the Dire can TP to that tier 2 and jump themselves in.
Yeah.
But does Fire have a Roche pit fighting lineup? If they don't preempt and set up with remotes, they have Blinks. Blink stun from Slardar, they've got Sonic Wave, AM could come with a Mana Void. But you're dealing with Track, with Winter's Curse. You know, Winter's Curse, Furiou. Oh god, he doesn't die! Turns back and Moo is the one that's gonna get crushed here. Cold Embrace is not gonna save you from the Ags or Laguna Blade of TC. Fluff tried the TP. Oh, the Track kill going the way of the Radiant. Wanted a kill on the Wyvern.
And Roshan has just spawned right now, and I think they walk straight there. I mean, they need to check, and they're gonna see that he's just spawned, and that's their rush. And it's actually the final ingredients and what they need to try and force the high ground with the Necros, with the gem. Techies doesn't have Aghanim Scepter. There's a few sneaky tricks you can use, like try and catch people out as they come up the high ground. But I think that DC will know all about those kinds of tricks. Yeah. And it goes back to I think Quap really needs to have a good fights when they do defend the high ground.
Got 3,300 gold. He killed the courier. Killed the courier. It had almost a full butterfly for the TA. She has Eagle Song, but she doesn't have butterfly. But your Queen of Pain's dead for 60 seconds and would rather not buy back here, surely.
She has to buy back. I'll be shocked if they can hold without her buying back. Maybe, I guess Techies can still spam down the creeps. Oh wow, and Yawa's tanked a lot of the fine damage.
Fine, he's healed up. He's got the Aegis as well.
They're being split pushed, they're on a clock.
Jump forward, they've still got the blink on the TA, so you could go looking for the kills. The Anti-Mage is up at top, like you say, taking down the tier 3, and it looks like the Radiant are back up a little bit here. I don't know if it's a fake back, because Fire are looking, they want to cancel TPs. That's what they're looking for here. Moo doesn't get the blink, it's come off cooldown just now, and the track out from AUI. Blink forward, Yawar, 3 hits, 2 hits, and Shuriken. Down goes the Rubik once more, and Queen of Pain still no buyback. Suicide out from the Techies. Can come back to life.
Yeah, Lena did have to TP outside. Don't know now if they keep pushing without her. Anti-Mage isn't back yet, but he could TP back. And honestly, that's probably still a good trade for Fire, considering that Queen of Pain died, didn't have to buy back. Anti-Mage just working his magic with that split push, and TC's actually hiding here. Is he gonna go for solo kill?
Like he is. Lands the stun this time. Aghanim Scepter. It's not going to be enough. Jo can blink himself forward and into TC. Meanwhile, middle lane, Yawar is cleaning up house. Kills off 747. And now he takes down Whitebeard. The blink forward and stun now. Winter's Curse. Yawar can turn. 3 hit down. No. Oh. Aegis. We'll bring him back to the land of the living. 747. And make something happen here. Moo. Blink dagger off cooldown. Maybe blink forward. But there's no real opening. And I do understand the blink forward from Jo there.
He didn't know that TC has BKB, I guess, and he thought, get onto him, get a few hits, ulti, I might actually win this fight. But since TC did have BKB,
not happening.
Yeah, I mean, it just made it look very comical, and I'm sure that's what Jo would think that happened, and being forced to buy back as a result. Like, yeah, I don't think anyone in his team would need to point anything out there. He would have said, guys, I just did something pretty stupid, and that's the end of that.
Yeah. How much gold did he have out of interest before buying back then? Because he's sitting on like 3k, he must have had like 4,500, something like that, right?
Yep.
Buyback is 1,200, so yeah. No Heart of Tarask for you just yet. That's the recipe, but that's a pretty big loss.
And again, I gotta say, the game doesn't feel like it's at that point. I don't think this game is about Anti-Mage. It started for a little while being about Anti-Mage, but really this game is about Digital Chaos again, and up to them whether they could quite easily like become complacent and allow the game to become about Anti-Mage again. But it isn't right now. I think it's fully within their power to go for some further pushing.
Butterfly crit on the TA, Greaves on the Bounty Hunter with that Blink Dagger as well, and we also saw the Winter Wyvern with Blink Glimmercade. So you've got
Anti-Mage is dead.
Anti-Mage, he masters out of it. Well played by Jo. Knowing, like, in that situation, you cannot die. Like, If you die, you lose the game, right? If the AM's gone, you've got no split push, you've got no get out of jail free card, you've got no team fight carry because the buyback's on cooldown.
Yeah, and it's a really clever call to use the Manta before blinking. If you try to blink, the stun pretty much guaranteed should hit you if Lena times it well. If you use the Manta straight up, there's a reasonable chance of that actually dodging, and that's what happens there.
Self away now. Techies, have we seen what he's buying? Yeah, he went for the casual Sage's masks. He is actually trying to finish up that Aghanim Scepter, but all the way, it's not that easy. And the Dire all moved up the top lane.
You know, I've been talking all the time about, is this game going to become about anti-mage? And honestly, if Techies gets Aghanim Scepter, the game almost could become about him. Suddenly the Necros and the Gem and all that doesn't help against Techie mines. Well, unless you're pushing more than one lane.
Hold it out for as long as you possibly can. Force them to split. And once you split this team from DC, they don't get the full effect from track kills. They don't get that Winter's Curse effectiveness. TA and Lena, they do have great solo killing power, but if they are left to their own devices, against Quap, Techies, Slardar, they can get ripped apart. Now Jo just keeps on going with a split push game, and TC is forced once again to TP to try and deal with this. Difficult though. 2 spells, a few right clicks, and the creep wave is gone. Jo now back in the jungle.
Yeah, DC are making a big call right here. It feels to me like the call they're making is either waiting for some new item, but I can't see what that is, or they're actually waiting to take next rush. I think they back themselves to just win that fight, unless it's TC's Shivas, which is coming up now. It might go with TC's Shivas, either that or they're waiting for the rush, but to be honest, they're going to allow Techies to get to his Aghanim Scepter if they wait for the rush. And they're also giving anti-mage more time to get his next item.
Smoked here though. AUI is up in front, he's invis. And he's going to know when this smoke pops. Buff. 747, the target's there, the blink forward, insta kill, Rubik's dead, and the Winter's Curse onto 747. They've got the Quap as well. 3 are instantly dead as the Slardar died to TC on the back end of that.
With Slaughter's got buyback, Quap and Rubik don't.
You're right. Slardar, AM and Techies is up to you. Can you hold your tier 3? Can you hold your base? Because if you lose tier 3 and racks here, the mid is shortly gone. And we'll follow straight after. So AM, Slardar, the blink for TC, down to half mana, but the Cold Embrace keeps him up and running. Jo has to blink himself away. This damage output from the TA, far too much. Forced the BKBs out from them, but Slardar is running in the back end. And with no buyback on 2 of your heroes, dead for a minute. AM Techies, Rubik, they cannot hold this brute force attack from Digital Chaos.
Looks like they just waited for the Shivas and the right pickoffs, and this is going to be at least 2 sides of racks, possibly all 3.
Lions mean nothing right now. Necro units walk through, the refraction charges tank them up. Bluff steals out refraction himself, so he's not gonna get nuked down here, is he? He's getting slowed by that boar a hefty amount. Taps it down, 2 lanes of racks have gone. And Rubik gets 1 hit. Because that's what TA does.
And now they will go for the 3rd lane of racks. It looked like they weren't too sure if they wanted to, but you know, why the hell not? Anti-Mage is the only hero alive right now on the enemy team.
I mean, that's it, yeah. So Fire, they tap out. Still Chaos, just a little bit too strong for them. I mean, funky draft out from Fire, they tried something. Work out. You know, laning stage it worked out okay, but mid to late game it just didn't work out well at all. The track kills, the bounty gold coming out onto heroes like the Templar Assassin, Farmed Ancients. I think a big factor obviously is the sort of Roshan sneaks from Digital Chaos worked very well. There was no scouting from the Dire, but it was mainly outplay. A lot of this and a lot of the little team fights.
I want to see more offlane Slaughter. I think that was cool. I don't think the Techies has the desired impact in the long run in this game. It was cool early on, but maybe it's just the Digital Chaos have a good enough understanding of various ways to counter it. And you know, they had the Beastmaster, the Bounty Hunter, the TA. They had so many different tools to deal with the Techies in the end.
Oh, game number 1. All done and dusted. 1-0 for Digital Chaos. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with game number 2. And we'll find out who goes to play up against Complexity in the grand finals of the ESL 1 New York North American qualifiers. Who's going to get themselves to New York? We'll find out soon.